Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Anuradha Sengupta. We have just about a month to go before India hosts its first Grand Prix and joins the high stakes and high adrenaline sport of Formula One car racing. Sponsors and advertisers of the sport have already started their marketing activities. On Storyboard today, we find out what the sport is likely to deliver to marketers. We have a full house. Joining in from Singapore, Karun Chandok, test driver for Team Lotus F1, and here in Mumbai, Sudhir Rao of Renault India, Anuradha Agarwal of Vodafone India, and Donald Anderson of Shell India. It's wonderful to have all of you here in the studio, and Karun, you in Singapore. My first question is to you. And Karun, the question is, what is the buzz about the Indian Grand Prix? What kind of marketing efforts are, JP and the circuit doing to get people going and excited? What can you share on this?
Well, I think there is a great buzz, and I think a lot of it, I have to say, is thanks to the media in India so far. They've been very, very supportive. The newspapers, magazines, the TV channels, of course. I think all you guys have been fantastic. JP themselves, they've been, a little bit later than planned, I think, to get the tickets out. But I, was fortunate to be there for the ticket launch, and certainly, I think since then, there's been a lot of hype around the race. And I think there's a lot of teams and sponsors across the globe as well looking to capitalize on the first Indian race. So altogether, I think there's a lot of hype being built by everybody, not just the circuit and JP in particular, but I think everybody connected to the event.
Right, Karun, you've been to most of the circuits on the F1 calendar, and we've seen new circuits get added on in the past 3-4 years, whether it's Abu Dhabi or Korea. Is the pre-race buzz in India pretty much what you saw in those countries? Is it higher? Is it lower?
No, I think it's more. I think India is slightly different to those sort of countries because, we've already got a ready-made fan base. I think, obviously, I'm here in Singapore for the race this weekend, and there's so many Indian people who used to coming here for the race, or used to going to Bahrain or Abu Dhabi that you just mentioned, or even Sepang in Malaysia. And I think, India is slightly different to a new market like Bahrain or Korea, for example, because we have a ready-made fan base. I do commentary for the TV channel that shows F1 in India on occasion. And, we have 25 million viewers or something, it's, I'm told, at every race. And that's just for India. That's not the rest of Asia. When we go to a commercial break, they come back to televising for the rest of Asia a full minute before they come back to India, because the India ad time is sold out for an extra minute of the broadcast, So I think there's already a ready-made audience, which we have in India, which isn't necessarily there in these other places. So I think the hype is actually, if anything, a bit more in our country.
All right. So there, you must be very happy to hear that. What are you sensing? Because you all have a lot of activities that you've started, and many, many more as we get closer to the race. We believe Carlos Ghosn is going to be here. Your hatch might be unveiled. We keep hearing all kinds of things. So would I be right in saying that for Renault India, all this activity around the Indian Grand Prix will be, focused on trying to create its brand image? Because we know Renault as the car till just a few months ago, thanks to the Mahindra-Logan Association, isn't it?
Absolutely, Anuradha. I mean, this is an integral part of our brand building strategy that we've mapped out, when we decided to, create a new Renault in India. And as you know, we've launched 2 cars already, which is the Fluence and the Koleos. And the way we kind of look at it is that a purchase decision for a consumer is a little bit like an Indian marriage. First, you've got to fall in love with the bride or the bridegroom. And next, more importantly, you've got to fall in love with the family behind the bride or the bridegroom. So for us, the cars, I think, have been extremely well received. The next challenge for us is to ensure that the brand and the company are as well accepted and received, and people feel secure when they buy into Renault. So I think this event is a huge step towards that second element of our consumer engagement campaign. And the reason it's important for us is because Renault has been associated with Formula One for a long time. In the last 20 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the last 20 years.
And across teams, isn't it?
And across teams, we've got 3 teams that we are powering this year. We've got 10 of the last 20 team championship titles if things go well for us the rest of the year. And we've got 9 of the 20 of the last 20 years individual championships. So for us, we've got a strong heritage of Formula One. And we felt it was a wonderful opportunity to let the consumers know about the intense technological depth that Renault as a company has.
Would you think that that was something that wasn't communicated because of the Logan?
No, I mean, the Logan did what it was intended to do. The only thing that the Logan was missing was looks in terms of styling, which the two cars that we have now launched have it in abundance. So, there's the technology part, which translates really into a product in terms of quality, reliability, durability, is excellent. I mean, it's well accepted that Logan had that. It is well accepted that our current two products have that. So what we just need to do is communicate that. And I think what Formula One does is provide us a wonderful, exciting, passionate. I mean, everybody loves speed, everybody loves noise of the right kind, and this is a wonderful platform for us to showcase that association.
Let me get Anuradha in here. Anuradha, Vodafone is doing quite a few contests, and the interesting thing is that your association with F1 in India, in terms of the marketing activity, started some 3 years ago when you all started bringing Lewis Hamilton down almost on an annual basis. I believe he's coming here again at the end of the month. So what are you sensing in terms of viewer and audience interest in a country like India for the F1?
See, for Vodafone globally, this partnership holds a lot of importance. We're a global partner, and we're a global company, and it helps us across the countries. We've been bringing Lewis Hamilton down here from the year that he was the world champion in 2008. And it was the first time that a Formula One driver came to the country, and the country was really excited. We got media coverage worth millions and millions of dollars, and suddenly, and we were new in the market, Vodafone came into the Indian market in 2007. And suddenly the Indian consumer realized that there is a global player in the market. That association has been strengthened over the last 3 years. Every time we talk about our Formula One association, we talk about our Vodafone McLaren Mercedes association. And Lewis Hamilton's kind of become the face of that association.
Right. So who is the audience? So who is your target for all of this? I want you to drive, draw up a profile for the kind of person you're reaching out to. Because, Karun was talking about 20 million plus viewers. We're talking about a mobile market of 750 million plus. So this is peanuts, right, in terms of the numbers of people who are already invested as viewers into F1. So what really is Vodafone trying to drive with this?
The telecom market is all about acquisition and retention. Somewhere acquisition is driven by salience. And if you talk about acquisition and salience, Formula One and our association with Vodafone McLaren Mercedes, at a time, especially when the Grand Prix is coming to India, gives us a huge amount of salience. And the young population of India, the youth, is now looking for new avenues of entertainment. And sport is a very large avenue of entertainment for them. New sports are coming into the market. There's a lot of interest that's being generated around new sports. So it's not just cricket, it is a lot more. And Vodafone as a brand has been associated with football, which is also relatively new.
So numbers are not important at this point, and for this sport where a sponsor and a marketer like you is concerned?
It's important to create salience amongst the right kind of audience. The audience here is a very young, upwardly mobile consumer living in the metros. And the second thing about telecom, like I said, retention. It's all about stickiness. And being associated with properties like this, which have very, very deep fan bases, gives us a lot of stickiness with our consumer base.
Right. Let me get Donald in here. Shell was, I think, one of the first companies to sort of get off the blocks with its F1 Grand Prix related marketing activities here in India. What kind of fillip does it give your marketing plan when you get an event like this to work with in a year? Because lubricants that Shell sells in India are at the high end of the market, isn't it?
Well, we leverage it a lot because, for example, there seems to be a preconception that our product must be expensive. It's not necessarily positioned that way. Our product is available in different tiers for everyone, so that's how we leverage it. We put it into our marketing plans, we do market activation, we do consumer activities, we do dealer activities, we do large customer activities, all convincing them around the properties of the lubricants and technology that's behind it.
Okay, Karun, what's the kind of impact you think this event will have? Because the government is not, is not a partner to the event like it is, let's say, in a country like Singapore. How much do you think that will impact the success of the event?
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to tell. I mean, we do need the government support in many ways in terms of, don't forget, Formula One's an enormous logistical exercise. You're talking 7 jumbo jets of cargo. You're talking thousands of people coming to work at the event, let alone the fans who might want to come and visit from around the world. And we do need the government support to sort of fast-track visas and to assist with customs clearance. And there's a number of issues where we do need their support. And hopefully they will work with JP on those fronts and make it a bit easier, because we've heard and seen a lot of complaints about especially the visas. I know even, for example, Rubens Barrichello was telling me, actually sent an email yesterday to see if we could help out, because he's struggling with his visa, for example, and some of the other drivers as well. So we do need their support. But in terms of the actual event, obviously, it's a huge undertaking by the JP Group. I think people need to understand that, the entire World Championship, apart from Silverstone in the UK, which is, it's been holding races since 1950, this is going to be the only other privately funded and privately run event on the Formula One World Championship. So it's a huge investment by the JP Group, and, it's something that, all these various sponsors and companies and drivers like myself and teams are going to benefit from. But ultimately, for the event, they are the ones who have spent an investment cost of $350 million, plus it's probably going to cost them $45–50 million a year in operational costs to run the event. So it's a huge investment from their side. And, hopefully, well, we'll find out. When you say, how's it going to go, we'll find out in, well, probably about 30 days' time.
Yeah, it is a huge investment, and I'm going to take a break at this point, but come back and find out how sponsors are going to evaluate the investments they are making into this event when we come back. So stay with us.